The jury is out and deliberating about whether or not Warren County is responsible for turning a blind eye to a former sheriff sexually abusing boys in its care.
Attorneys gave closing statements today. Kane in your corners. Walt Kane has continuing coverage of this case.
County says this was a different time in the 80s. There was never a time where it was okay to not protect children.
In his closing argument, the attorney for a former child sex abuse victim says Warren County should be held responsible for failing to protect kids from the former sheriff, Edward Bullock.
You heard county employee after county employee clearly remember exactly what they saw with Bullock, because the alarm bells were so loud, the red flags were waving so furiously that they can recall exactly what they saw, what they witnessed.
Bullock is accused of repeatedly raping boys at the county's youth shelter. We first told you about the accusations a year ago. In our Kane in Your Corner investigation, justice delayed.
I remember just the pain, and I remember it hurt. I remember I just wanted it to end.
In court, one of those alleged victims, identified only as WM, told jurors he tried to report the rapes to a shelter worker, but was met with violence.
The sheriff raped me, and he snatched me off the top bunk, and he punched me in the stomach, and he said, "Don't ever say those things again."
Multiple county employees also came forward to say they observed suspicious behavior and believed Bullock was abusing kids. Some said they repeatedly tried to report their suspicions.
Did you have suspicions that Sheriff Bullock was molesting the children?
Yes.
Did you bring your suspicions to your boss?
Yes. And then he would just kind of say, well, you know, sometimes there are things that, you know, that maybe you shouldn't know, or, you know, shouldn't ask about. Almost like don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. Just don't get involved.
The attorney for Warren County says no one witnessed any abuse.
The county disputes that we ever knew anything about his abuse and that we permitted it to happen.
The county also produced an expert witness who said WM was already troubled before he was raped.
And when you look at WM and you evaluate what happened here, you have to decide what impact it really had on his life and his past and all of these other issues that it brings to light.
WM's attorney criticized that defense.
But what she said was, and I kept reading it from her report, even if the rape did happen, even assuming that's true, it was not a substantial factor in causing the PTSD. Doesn't take a doctor to criticize that statement. When you're raped at 11, you don't forget it.
This is the first of 3 lawsuits filed by Bullock's alleged victims. The other 2 testified in this trial. WM is expected to testify in theirs. In your corner, I'm Walt Kane, News 12.
And the jury will continue its deliberations in the morning.